YouTube, a massive guitar. Yeah, this video is only going to be 5 minutes long rather than the 20-minute super jams I keep doing. When I say super, I mean super long, not super good. Yeah, so this is a peavey. I've not actually had it looked it up yet. I've just got it in for a bit of a setup. So I don't actually even know what model it is. The strings on it are proper rusty, so it's not going to be the greatest demo of it yet. I'll do that once I've set it up. I've got does everyone not want one of these at some point? It's a Gretsch White Falcon, isn't it? Or something along the lines of a Gretsch White Falcon, or whatever the Gretsch is. I suppose it's a sort of copy. That does actually say it's a Bigsby on it, so an actual Bigsby, made in China on the back. Yes, what's that say there? Inspected by. Yeah, so one of these big things. This is one of these. My pal is actually, well, the bridge is not. That's right, the bridge. It might not necessarily be in the right place. Okay, it's not in the right place. Yeah, I believe what you're meant to do is actually. I told before, if you make it in line with where the F hole is there, and there, it should be right. So it should be a little bit. I'll just have to tune it again. So I'll just not play it up high, because it won't be in tune. What I'll probably do is get like a wee bit of, I've done it before, use like a Stanley knife blade just to put like a line on the back of the, on cut into the body of the guitar, because then you know where to put the bridge, rather than it being a floaty boaty job. Yes, so these kind of, what was the guitar I had? Was it the Filtertrons or the TV Jones pickups? These look to me like normal humbuckers with a metal cover on them, rather than being the sort of odd shaped Gretsch ones. I think this is a master volume, and then neck volume, bridge volume, master tone, the pickup selector. I'm thinking something like that. There's quite a lot of acoustic volume off it, so I might have to turn the amp up a bit just so I can hear it over the volume of the actual guitar. Yeah, I was gonna say, one of my pals had one of these. It wasn't a peavey one. I can't remember what make it was. Some import brand, and suddenly the Bigsby made sense, because a Bigsby. I've played them before on on Les Pauls, and I've seen them on a Telecaster. That kind of guitar, you don't really want that whole. Isn't really that much use on that kind of guitar for me. On this kind of guitar though, this is the sort of guitar where you want to just give it a big. It's not exactly the dive bomb thing that you get off like even a Strat type trim. It's not, I think actually, it's not full thickness, as in it's not acoustic thickness. I think the one my pal Jerry's got is acoustic thick, twice as thick as this, makes it even bigger. But I mean, look at it, it is a monster of a guitar. So I reckon that's the volume control for, or maybe not. So that was a bridge pickup. I think that's the bridge volume, and that's the neck volume. So that is master tone. Okay, so master tone, bridge volume, neck volume, and then so you can set up your sounds mixing between the two pickups, assuming you're in the middle position, of course. Kind of mix them in to get the right balance between them, and then turn it down overall with the master. There will be a reason for that I'm not quite grasping. But again, I don't really know what to play in this, because It's kind of got an acoustic-y thing going on. But it's an electric guitar, so it wants a bit of distortion, does it? One of the things that this is the Bucky Rage guy again saying, is there any way you can... I'm going to try and make sort of... I haven't yet found the correct material. Some sort of foam inserts that stick in here. Like just temporary, like stick it in and then it'll stop it feedbacking, because I think it... He said it's feedbacks a bit when he's recording with it, and it's like, well, it's kind of this, if you want feedback on a guitar, this is the one you want. I mean, this doesn't have like the center block. This is a proper hollow guitar. You know, like your 335s and stuff have a center block for the pickups, and more importantly, the bridge is mounted in it. This one, the bridge is floating, so it's a proper acoustic guitar, which you can hear when you turn the volume down. And if the strings weren't so old, it would be much louder than that. But I'll try a bit of the El Campbell, which is sort of tube screamer. These strings are really old. Make sure everything's at full. Got the reverb on as well. The thing about these is, the reason I haven't got one and I've never owned one is because they're never cheap. Even if you buy like a cheap version of it, I don't think the peaveys they're not. It's cheap if you compare it to a Gretsch White Falcon, yeah, because they're thousands of pounds. So I think these, used, are kind of like 500 quid or something like that, which is, it's really cheap for a guitar, but not if you're me. If you're really me, 500 quid gets you a couple of guitars. And also, I'm a wee bit concerned about buying one that's like, obviously peavey, well known. I would trust a peavey to be a decent guitar, whereas some of the ones you get in China and stuff, which look like this, why is it only £150 new? Like, there's an awful lot in this to get wrong. It's like, and I've said this before, when I was in China, I was buying Telecasters, because it's, a bandsawed piece of wood with bits bolted to it. So if anything's in the wrong place or badly done, you can put another neck on it, reset the neck, move the bridge, do all that stuff. Can't do any of that with this. This has got to be built okay to start with. And I think maybe it's just because possibly because they're not really that popular either. Maybe something to do with the price, but nobody really has these as their first guitar. Or, I think I've got a guitar in below my bed. I tried learning to play 20 years ago and just gave up, or it was my son's. And it's not going to be a guitar like this. It's going to be a Yamaha Pacifica or a wee cheap Strat or Squire or something like that. Yeah. Or just a standard acoustic. It's not going to be a fancy pants number. Or maybe I try and get one of these in my next Trades Tuesday thing that I'm going to do. The tendency would be for me to... Well, I'd love to... I don't think I would want to commit to having one. When I say one of these, I just mean a big jazz box. I'd love to have one for a few months. That'd be good. Buy it and trade it for something. Right, I've already managed to... How do people do 5-minute videos? That's been 9 minutes I've not even played yet. Obviously, I've only just tried the tube screamer type things. I've not tried the rat pedal yet, which is obviously my favourite. And it's like, does it Sabbath? Nobody will ever... Right, I'll try more distortion. I've got to hear this thing feedback. Here's the... There we go. So get a wee bit if you use the Pi fuzz pedal. So yes, you can play Cradle of Filth on one of these. That is the one Cradle of Filth song I know. But it seems to be very well built. I can see the feedbacky problem, but kind of what we'd expect one of these things. So once this is restrung and set and actually able to be tuned, because I'll put the bridge in the correct place, I'll do another video this next week, or maybe later on in the week. I've not done that one yet either. I've got the two off the same guy. I'll do them both on the same day. But I mean, it's like this is really just to test what's actually wrong with it. And apart from needing new strings, I would probably bring the action down a little bit. The action's quite high on it. I wouldn't want it to be, turbo neoclassical speed metal for this type of guitar, I don't think. Mind you, some jazz is dead fast, isn't it? Also, the string, the pickups are miles away from the strings, but I mean, that's probably where they're meant to be. I'm normally set the pickup kind of, not quite as high as it goes without the strings hitting it, but pretty much as high as it goes without the strings hitting it is where I would normally go, which would raise the volume, but that might also up the feedback content. And I'm not even sure. I'm trying to think. I used to have a thing. I don't know. I think I might have used it all up. I think it was a neck brace for one time. Was it my mum had whiplash or whatever it was? Someone in my family had like a neck brace that was made out of this sort of foamy rubbery stuff, and that would have been perfect because what I could have done is just like cut a rectangle out of that and then carve the back of it to fit in the F-hole to bung it up. Which I don't know. I'd imagine it's going to reduce the feedback. I don't know if it's going to completely wipe it out though, because part of the joy of a guitar like this is when you ring it, the whole thing resonates and stuff like that. It doesn't resonate just now because of these strings, which are they're far worse than any strings I've got in any of my guitars just now, because none of mine have really just sat in a case for 5 years or something, which I think this guitar did. But it's pretty, it's big, and it's a thing. I wish you could get a cheap one, and then I would have one. If you got like a square one. I think Epiphone and stuff do them, but even then, they don't really seem to, because of the second-hand market's too high for them. I think even if you did buy like whatever the Epiphone equivalent one is for, I'm totally taking a guess at £300 or £400 for something like this, or £500 for this. Second-hand, it's going to be like 80% of that or something. You're not going to pick one of these up for £100. I've certainly never seen one, because if I'd seen one, I would have bought it. Anyhow, so my 5-minute video, 14 minutes. Not that bad. Rock on, like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll have a better video.